Welcome to Just John and April, the relationship podcast, your place for life, love, and laughs. In today's episode, I'm married and someone I know is hitting on me, and the word of the day.
Wow, I didn't know that was the title.
It's the title.
Okay, well, let's talk about it.
Well, first of all, I need to say something.
Okay.
Are you cold? Just answer the question. You are cold.
Babe, I'm always cold in this house.
I need people to know that there are 3 very hot lights on right now. And I don't know why she's cold at all. I'm actually warm. The lights are making it warm.
There's no way you're warm. You're
I'm
lying.
warm.
You're a liar.
I'm warm right now.
You're lying. So that
I'm
you
not
can be
lying.
Right. Yes, you are.
I'm not lying.
There's no way you're warm right now.
The point is, it's not that cold. That's the
My
point.
toes. So stop lying to the public.
Okay. It's not that cold, man. Really isn't.
Not that cold and you're warm.
First of
two
all,
different things.
First of all, people are going to think I'm a miser, number one. And number 2, they're going to think I'm abusing my family by not putting the heat on. And I'm doing the right thing.
We're still talking about this, which means he has
doing
not
the right
turned
thing.
on the heat.
Yeah, well, you'll be all
to
right.
the level that it needs to be turned on.
You'll be all right.
Wow. Folks be cheap, man.
It's true. Anyway, so tonight's subject is one that's near and dear to our hearts.
Is it?
Not really. But seriously, we do deal with our share of people. I shouldn't put it that way. Honestly, people hit on my wife all the time.
Yeah, but that's not a big deal when it's randoms.
That's probably true.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a big deal when it's people we know.
Right.
Like, guys, I'm talking about like people who know me and John. And clearly
know that we're both married and been married for a long time.
And clearly trying to have me as some side piece. Like, seriously, like that's what I'm really trying to understand here. And this conversation, I feel like, I mean, you know, the whole is flirting, cheating. I mean, we're going to talk about that because this is a part of it.
Right.
But that part of it is where I'm just like, you know, I guess the whole idea of me flirting back.
Right.
You know, would that be okay?
Right.
And so we can talk about that. We'll go back to that subject later.
Right.
We'll go back to that.
We'll start with the original thing. So first of all, subscribe and click on the bell so that you can be notified of our next episode. You want to be able to keep up with what's going on. But here's the question. Do you deal with this kind of thing? Do you in your relationship have a person who just does not really respect your marriage and is constantly trying to, you know, flirt or hit on you or something like that? How does that make you feel? Do you think that's appropriate? How do you respond? And how do you think a married person should respond in that situation?
And so that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Because, and by the way, several of you have told me that you watch consistently, but you have not subscribed.
You said you don't subscribe. Yeah, do it. It's free.
It's not,
Doesn't do anything.
You don't have to pay for anything.
Yeah.
You just click the button.
And it helps us.
It does. It helps us. So go ahead and do that for us.
Stop
please.
Right now and just subscribe.
Yeah.
In fact, you don't have to stop. You just click the thing while we're talking.
You don't even have to stop. So we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers.
Yes.
By 2020. So
right. We can do it. You can help.
Yes. So anyway, for me, I'm like, I really have a hard time with knowing how to respond. Now, some people flirt back, and that I guess that's what we're talking about. Like, should you flirt back? Is that cheating? And personally, I don't think flirting is cheating, but I think it can get to the point where it is cheating.
Is cheatish?
It's cheatish. Yes, thank you. It is cheatish because I feel like you can, let's say you flirt back, but it's like a natural reaction. Okay. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like I
wasn't trying to. It wasn't premeditated.
Yeah, you know, I've seen where people might, you know, smile at you or be like, "Ooh, look at you in that dress," and you're like, "Thanks," and then you're like, "Ooh, did I just do that?" You know, I mean, and they could think you're flirting. Right. That wasn't your intention. Right. Right. Yes. Your intention. Okay. Whatever. Yeah. But I feel like you could also keep it going.
Yes.
Flirt back.
Yes.
You know, show a little leg and take it right back. You know, you know. So that's different. To me, that's going into the cheatish area.
Yes.
Okay. But I have a hard time because I have actually had several situations where people who know both of us and we're friends and we're like, hey, and we hug and everybody's happy and everything. And at some point, let's say this one person came at me like to have something or to start something, and it shocks me out of my brain.
You were so shocked that you didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, I'm like,
you were like, this
cannot be. This cannot be because this person knows my husband.
Right.
Has a relationship with him.
Right.
And me.
Right.
And so then I say to myself, am I showing that I'm some type of person that you think I would be willing? Or are you just arrogant enough to think that any woman that you talk to will just be like, "Oh yeah, let me take this because he's the bomb." Please explain this because
I have a theory. I told you this too.
Because I'm like, but real quick before you have a theory,
okay.
The whole idea of how do I respond? So sometimes I don't respond the way that I would tell you that I would respond. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm sitting around with my girls, but girl, if he came up to me, I would be like, please, I know you're not doing that, whatever. Like, I never respond that way. Because it's almost like you're embarrassed. It's embarrassing. And you're shocked and you don't really know what to do in that moment. You know what I'm saying? So explain, please.
Okay, so here's what I think is happening. I don't think it's arrogance. And I don't think what'd you say the first thing was? You said I can't figure out if this is just that they don't know or is it arrogance? What'd you say? I can't remember what you said.
That they think I'm some trick.
Right. Thank you. Yes.
Who will just fall for them just because what? I don't know.
I don't think you give that off. So I do not think first of all, you're not flirtatious.
Okay.
So I don't think you are. I don't think there's anything about what you do that invites a person to come after you hard like that. Now you are nice though. You're a nice person, and I think sometimes you are nice, but I don't think a person would ever misinterpret that to think that you want some kind of sexual relationship with them. So I don't think that's you, and I don't think the people that I'm thinking about that you've told me that have done this to you, I don't think it's arrogance. I think it's a different thing. I think it's internet culture.
What?
So internet culture for men has created a situation where we as men can get gratification from women that aren't real. Because they're online.
You about to get deep with this.
Yes. These are not real women, but somehow it makes us think that it's real. And when we can get instant gratification from a woman online the way that we can so easily these days, it makes us sometimes think that all women, real women, work like that. So that if I am in the right situation with her and it's just the two of us and whatever, if I suggest, then maybe she'll be interested too. That's what I think is happening.
Wow.
That's what I think you're dealing with.
Me?
No question in my mind. There's no question in my mind.
That is crazy.
Look, when I was a kid and we were watching, movies and stuff like that, they would always have some scene in a movie where, some nerd and some girl that he would never be interested in him, they're together, they're by themselves, and he makes a pass, and for some reason she likes him. And it's like, in the movies, it always works out where the guy who can't ever get a girl in his life is able to get one. Well, that I think feeds us, and it's even worse now with the internet culture. You understand what I'm talking about when I say that? And I think our audience knows too. I don't have to spell it out.
Right.
My point is, I think that creates a sort of delusional space in a man's mind so that if the circumstances are just right, this daggone married woman might.
He's married too.
Right. But I'm telling you, I just don't think men are in their right minds or anything in those situations.
This is actually, you're educating me.
Okay.
Because I never thought of it like that.
Yes.
But that makes so much sense.
Actually, that's what it is. I don't think it's arrogant, and I don't think you're doing anything. I just think you're very pretty, and he's thinking to himself, "Man, it would be so nice if I could just, kiss her once."
No, I just
maybe if the situation was right, she would let me.
I just feel like you have to be arrogant a little bit. If you think, and usually they're older,
right?
And I'm like, why would But I don't know. But again, I have to figure out how to respond because now when I think back, I'm like, man, I wish I had said.
Mm-hmm.
You
want to know what to say?
Yeah, like I mean, I think I know what to say. But I'm wondering how that would, I don't really care about the feelings of the person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I really don't. When you put yourself out there to do that, I
Yes.
feel like, you know, but then I feel like I don't want to be like, whatever. And then I'm like, please, why are you, you know, thinking that that's what I'm doing or whatever.
Here's what you do.
Even though it's obvious.
Here's what you do. The moment you get uncomfortable with the way the conversation is going, you simply say that. I'm uncomfortable where this conversation is going.
Wow.
That's it. You don't have to say I'm a married woman. You don't have to say, are you making a pass at me? You don't have to do any of that. You state your own feelings. You say, I'm actually a little uncomfortable about where this conversation is going.
Okay.
And
like
he
that.
knows, and if something, he'll say, oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. And maybe you misunderstood, whatever. But you didn't accuse him of anything.
Right.
You didn't put anything on him. You didn't put words in his mouth. You didn't say he was trying to, you know, get you to cheat on your husband, you know.
Right. No, well, normally what I do is I say, you know, oh, John would love that.
Right. Why don't you come over? Oh, yeah, I'll ask John, and we'll see about two of us coming over.
Let me talk to my husband and see
Right.
if we can do that
Right.
together,
Right.
you know.
And that's okay.
Whatever.
But see, sometimes that can get past someone. That can go over their head.
I know, and I
If
feel
you
like that
say
is what
the
has happened
words,
before.
I'm starting to get uncomfortable with this conversation, that will be a way of sort of calling it out and specifically naming what you're feeling at that time. And if they're actually doing the wrong thing, they'll get the message and they will feel confronted, even though you didn't necessarily say to them, hey, why are you trying to hit on me?
So I'm just starting to realize how bad it is when it comes to men thinking that they can just, I guess, you know, hit on you or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just starting to, you know, really come out in my life, personally seeing it, not just hearing other people. And I mean, I'm just shocked that, I mean, there are men who really think that they can just say whatever, do whatever, and it's okay. Like, I mean, I guess that's a society we've been living in for years. And now because of Me Too and different things, you know, it's coming out. But it just amazes me, and I'm glad you told me to say that. I just hope I remember. Saying it just...
You'll remember.
It just goes... It just... For me, it's like I'm shocked to the point where I'm speechless. And I don't even know what to say or do.
Right.
You know, I said, I've been saying stuff like, you know, John, I immediately start naming you, you know, or... I gotta go or whatever, you know, whatever the situation is.
Right.
But then when I leave, I'm like, man, I wish I had said, and I can't go back.
Right.
And there was another situation where somebody said something or did something to a friend in front of me. And I wish I had said something for her because she didn't say anything either. But that's because we were both shocked.
Right.
And then when he left, we were like, did what we thought happen? And it was like, yes.
Right.
And I was like, man,
Right.
I wish I had. And she said the same thing. And it's like, it's too late.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. The moment is past.
The moment is past.
you
And I
don't
feel
have
like
an
he got
opportunity.
away with it.
Right. Yeah.
You know? He got away with it. And
Right.
I hate that.
Right. So here's my thing.
Okay.
I get hit on sometimes, but I don't know that it's happening.
Okay, so let's talk about...
You usually expose that.
Yes, and it has been... We've experienced more with him because it's people that we know with him too.
Right.
And because he's the pastor, you know,
Yes, it's
some
like
women, I
church
guess,
members.
think, you know, I don't... Anyway. But John doesn't realize it, and I have to... Whenever I let him know, you know, I think this is happening, he's able to see it. Like, oh, man, yeah, you know... But there have been a couple times you were able to spot it out. But
I didn't at first, though. At first, I would always dismiss what you're saying as you overreacting or seeing stuff or whatever. And I'd be like, I don't think that's really that, babe. But after a while, you know, after you've proven to be right more than once, I was like, okay, I'm going to just trust her instincts. And if she's saying that person's trying to push up, then I know that's what's happening.
So, guys, let me tell you what this man does. It is so funny. So he is very nice and, you know, nice to the people, whatever. And genuinely loves people. And when I tell him, that girl right there, she's trying to hit up on you, whatever. When I say I feel sorry for the girl afterwards, it's like total ignoring to the max. Okay, so one time it happened, and we were at some dinner, and this girl sat, after I told her whatever, she came and sat at the table and was ready to do her same little flirty thing in front of me to my husband, disrespect, whatever. And this man ignores her so badly that I start feeling sorry for the girl. And I was like, babe, don't do that now,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, she disrespected me, but
Right. I just want to make it clear to the person that there's one woman for me, and it's not the one that's trying to hit on me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's not you.
Yeah, exactly. And
no, I appreciate that, but I mean, I'm secure in my marriage, so
yeah.
You can still be nice to the people,
I got you. Either way, I think it is a real situation, and I think it may be something that other people are dealing with too.
I definitely think.
And I wonder if they don't know what to do. Like, are they struggling to know how to handle it?
They are, especially women. We don't know what to do because we're not ready for it. Especially when it's something like somebody knowing us both and we're friends. I'm not talking about guys at the Piggly Wiggly.
Right.
I'm not. I'm not talking about that. So when you're talking about people that know you, that you see every week,
right?
And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they do something that's inappropriate or that makes you feel uncomfortable, or they, say some things to you or text you something. Like, I'm sorry, but that ends up being a shock.
Right.
And so I think some women out there, and maybe some men, they don't really know how to respond, because as a man, you're not supposed to be like, get away from me.
Right.
Don't do that.
Right. So,
you know what I'm saying?
So here's the question. What if we are guilty of doing something inadvertently that actually encourages that person's behavior? Are we at fault? And if we realize later we've been encouraging it, how do we get it back? I mean, is it right for us to tell the person off? And this whole time we've been
I think you should. You totally ignore them.
Right. Well, yeah, that's what I do.
Because you were super nice.
Right.
And it was like, oh, y'all got your own relationship. Y'all
right.
cool, whatever.
Right.
And then it was like, oh, that's not what I was trying to put off. I'm about to cut all together. So I think you might have to do that. So because with that particular person, you knew that's what you had to do.
Right.
Right. So some people may need that.
Right.
But I do think you can look, because I always look and say, what have I done? Because I'm a hugger, and I will go hug people. And I'm like, maybe I need to stop doing that, because that might make people think that, I don't know, that I want to be close to you. And you don't ever see that I hug everybody. You just seeing that I'm hugging you. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think that's good to check and see, are you actually promoting this behavior?
So early in our relationship, you had to help me to understand that sometimes the way that I interacted with women might make them conclude that I'm flirting with them.
Right.
Just because I'm nice. And of course, you didn't think that I was ever flirting with them or trying to get with them or anything like that, but you were nervous that they would get that impression.
Well, not nervous. I felt like I was seeing that only because, like I said, you're nice, you talk to everybody. And so I saw, I could see some women taking that as, oh man, he's giving me attention, especially women who really need attention. They are seeking it, and here now is this good looking, fine as wine, sweet as sherbet, juicy as a steak pastor who is, actually talking to them and giving them attention, looking them in their eyes and showing interest. And you were being who you are.
Right.
And I saw that, you know what? I don't know. She's not taking that in the way that you are giving it, which, like I said, I think I was doing that with somebody where I was nice and, listening to them talk about stuff.
And they were getting the wrong impression.
Getting the wrong impression. And thinking, oh, she wants to have we're having an emotional connection,
right.
And that could have been the same with you.
Right.
So I think that's more so where you were going. But I think that's why you have to listen to your spouse, because
right.
I know women, he knows men.
Right.
He's able to say, look, you need to stay away from that dude.
Right.
I'm able to say, babe, I can tell she's looking at this differently than the way you're giving it.
Right. So this is why I think it's so important that we understand how how it is that if we're flirting back or being flirtish or flirtatious or whatever with a person, that it could be
misconstrued
or even maybe along the lines of cheating, whatever.
Oh, you mean if you're purposely doing that?
Well, not just that, but yes, if you're purposely doing it.
It would have to be that you are purposely
Agreed.
Responding to the flirting that's happening with you.
Yes. And here's what I'm saying. Some people never intend on going all the way with you. Some people don't necessarily care about that.
Right.
They get enough from the emotional attention you're giving them right now.
That is so true.
And so the problem, I think, is not understanding how important that is. We may take that lightly and we may flirt back with no problem, thinking it's no big deal. When in fact, maybe our spouse, if they knew we were doing that on purpose and looking forward to it and all that kind of stuff, might actually feel cheated on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
it is definitely cheatish where you flirt back because you like what is being given to you. And so you feel like, oh, I'm just doing that. Right. I would never go further. Right. But you're getting something from someone else that really should be something you get from your spouse.
Exactly. Right. And you may be giving something to somebody else that's fulfilling something in them that they should not be getting from someone else's spouse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So sometimes you just have to cut that.
Yeah. And I think every relationship, every person needs to define, like we need to define for ourselves what we think is too far and what we think is actually cheating. Because obviously we would define, kissing somebody else as cheating.
Of course.
We would define, having sex with somebody else as cheating, obviously. Yeah. But I think there are other things lower than that we might define as, you know what? That's not really cheating, but for me, that's a violation. I would feel like you're giving them something that should be reserved only for me.
Exactly. You know I think marriages, relationships, it should be that we are not trying to violate the relationship. So it may not be called cheating, but it could be something that makes you feel uncomfortable to the point where you say, hey, I think you have stepped outside of my comfort level in this area. Yes. When it comes to,
Right. Yeah,
or the women,
right,
or the men, or whatever.
So I think maybe we have to define something that's other than cheating, but that still is a violation of our relationship.
Yeah,
and say, let's agree not to do that. Let's not violate each other in any way, even if it doesn't mean we went all the way with somebody. I don't feel comfortable with you giving a person this kind of attention. I believe that's reserved for me alone.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think you can agree to that, and that shouldn't be a problem.
Right, but I think that's something that you need to talk about if that's an issue.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Clearly. If it's not an issue, then,
Yeah, it ain't an issue.
Right, but I'm saying if that's an issue, or if I feel like, can you tell me if there's something that I could be doing because these men are coming and it's not right.
And they keep on coming, like in droves.
It's not right. It's not right, and it's uncomfortable, and now I know what to say, though.
Good. I'm glad I helped you out. I hope we help somebody else out, too, because some of y'all getting hit on as well, and y'all don't need to be.
Now it's time for Word of the Day.
Word of the Day. Our word today is fidelity. Fidelity. Here's what it means. The quality or state of being faithful. See, faithfulness in a relationship, fidelity, has to do more with not just like following the letter of the law. Did I kiss somebody else? Did I sleep with somebody else? It's about being faithful to the integrity of your relationship.
Yes.
So that there are other things that are involved that may be short of cheating that could also cause you to not be faithful in the relationship, which we discussed today.
Right.
And so I think it's important for couples to figure out what that is and to define that and to decide if we're going to be faithful to each other, here are the things that we need to keep on our list, not just sleeping with somebody or kissing somebody or whatever, but there are other things too. And each couple should do that. So,
and communicating with your spouse if you see something that you're uncomfortable with.
Yes.
Just say, I saw that and I'm not sure I like that.
Right.
Yeah,
that's not for me. I don't think it should be our relationship.
And respecting the other person's thoughts and feelings on that.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So all I want you to start doing now is saying to them dudes, listen, I'm starting to get uncomfortable.
I'm ready for that. I'm going to have that in my back pocket. Because
yeah, man. Keep that
I needed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you keep on ignoring them women.
Thanks for watching Jess, John, and April.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell to be notified about our next episode.
See you next time.
Bye.